Huh? So why should I change the say agar if in the first attempt, if in the first case I took a certain TPC, how does that TPC change when the P changes? It will not change. No, P was there in the first case also. Only thing is we did not know the P. It should have been there. Correct, beta? Am I right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. And as I told you, whether you take the particulars for W minus P or W, you have forgotten the statement which I made emphatically in the last class, that only the particulars which you know for sure that they are correct if used for W, or they are correct if used for W minus P. Only those particulars we have to be careful that we take them for the appropriate value, whether W or W minus P. But there are particulars like TPC, MCTC, which you are assuming constant in the scope of the question, right? For the change of draft in the question. So when you are assuming particulars which are fixed in the question, then whether you take them for W or W minus P, both will induce error. And if both have to induce error, then why should I complicate by taking it for W minus P? Understood?
Yes, sir. इसी की वजह से change है, sir. वो
Yes,
MCT से
correct, correct, correct. So what I'm trying to say is that there is no reason for me to say that if I take W minus MCTC, W minus P MCTC, then my result will be better. There is no argument for that. Am I right? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if that argument is falling flat, then the problem is that whether I take it for W or W minus P, it's not going to make any difference. If in the question number 1 that we did, if you remember that day, once we got P, we used the same values in question number 1 also. We had the trim and we were finding P. In this question, it gets reversed. You have the P and you're getting trim. That the last step I'm talking about, right? You are talking of a step earlier to that, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So like for as I gave you an example in the last class also, that we know for sure that Km, if used for W minus P, is more accurate. So where I have the conviction that okay, this value for W or this value for W minus P is going to be more accurate, there I'll insist that we take it for W minus P or whichever value it is accurate for. For the other values, even if you take it for W minus P, the answers will change, but again, your answer would have also an error the way my answer would have an error, right, beta? Okay. So don't worry, don't complicate unnecessarily for me. Okay, beta? Clear?
सर
Clear, भाई? हाँ.
सर फिर हम KM क्यों W माइनस P के लिए ले रहे हैं सर?
क्यों
वो
क्या
एक बार
क्या 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 समझाया था पहली क्लास में? फर्स्ट क्लास में क्या समझाया था? KMW minus P के लिए क्यों लेते हैं? Unnar, tell me. This has already been answered, and it was answered in the last class also when this issue was being explained. एक दिन जिस दिन फर्स्ट क्लास में KM यूज किया था तो बताया
हाँ
था it has to
वो
be for
W माइनस P के लिए लेते हैं
क्यों
सर, इसलिए
क्यों
यहाँ
क्यों
पे
लेते हैं? ये भी एक्सप्लेन किया था क्यों लेते हैं W minus P के लिए. और पिछली क्लास में भी बोला था जब ये क्वेश्चन किसी ने मुझसे पूछा था, या मैंने शायद खुद ही ले लिया था कि should these particulars be for what I said, like Km should be for W minus P, and there also I remember I had given the reason. Anybody in the class? Anybody in the class why Km should be taken for W minus P?
So Km depends on water plane area and KB.
But there, it depends on draft to make it
Depend
simple,
on draft,
right?
sir.
It depends on draft. So at critical instant, the draft corresponds to the draft at W minus P. Therefore, you are taking Km for W minus P, right? Correct, beta? Correct?
yes sir.
So you are taking, when you are taking Km, listen, when you are taking Km, you are taking Km at critical instant. So when you know that displacement or draft at critical instant, so you will directly taking Km for it. Now you will say, sir, if I take TPC, MCTC for W minus P. Now, this TPC or MCTC is neither for W, nor neither for W minus P nor for W. These two, you are assuming that in this range, both remain fixed or constant. Understood the difference? The TPC, we are not talking of at W, nor are we talking about TPC at W minus P. Whichever TPC or MCTC we are taking, we are assuming that remains constant in this change of displacement. Correct, Vita? Yes or no? So you are not saying, is it TPC at W or is it TPC at W minus P? Whatever TPC. The TPC that you're taking, you're assuming that it is remaining constant throughout, right from W to W minus P. So if I'm assuming it to remain constant, then it can neither be the TPC for W, nor it will be the TPC for W minus P. Whichever TPC I take, both are going to induce some error. Is that clear, beta? Is it clear now, class?
Yes, sir.
ओनर तो क्लास में सुनता नहीं है, सडनली तेरी ट्यूबलाइट ऑन होती है बाद में, हैं? तो
Yes,
सुनता नहीं है
sir.
क्लास में, सुना कर क्लास में.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, guys, I had requested you to find the draft for this question. Were you able to find the draft? Were you able to find the draft, beta?
3.847, 3.803, sir.
Okay, there is some value, and everybody else could calculate the draft here, yes or no? Trim and draft.
Yes, sir. 3.845 and 6.20.
Okay. Why did I ask you to calculate the draft? Because in this question, if I add these lines and I give you in the exam, then what will happen? Half the class will wonder how to solve it. I do not know the trim. How to solve the question? Half the class will go in circles. Okay. Now, when the question is given like this, before you start solving for dry docking, you'll have to get the trim. And this is the trim you get. Correct, beta? 2.357 meters by stern. You can
Yes.
check it.
Yes.
Okay. And so I just wanted you to revise this draft trim concept, and therefore I gave you this question. So guys, you now read the question in totality. If I give you a question like this in exam, now all the questions we had done earlier, we knew the drafts, we knew the trim of the ship. But in this question, neither the draft were given nor the trim was given. And that would have definitely derailed some of you. Am I right? Yes or no? So what will you do? First, you will carry out this part of the calculation. And once you get the trim, now you can calculate. Please calculate now for this P at critical instant. Please calculate, and virtual GM at critical instant. Can you now calculate, guys? Once you have the trim, can you please calculate? Please do the calculation. And tell me if the answer is coming as GM is coming, and of course the depth.
0.494.
Sir, P is
0.4
539.1.
P is 5.9
39.1.
decimal 1 tons. Okay, let's check it. Depth at critical instant, which will also be equal to draft at critical instant. Why? Because there is no declivity of the dock. They will both here would be 4.755, and this will be, I'm getting 495. It's okay if somebody has got 494, that's okay. Can you please calculate these and see and confirm with to me? This all this process you know. If you are not getting it, let me know. If anybody is having
मेरा पी आ रहा है 539.86.
539.86 होगा फिर बेटा. ये तो मैं जो कहा था, मेरे पास P नहीं लिखा हुआ मेरे बोर्ड पे यहाँ पे. My P is not written here actually. Yeah,
P
539.17.
decimal 17.
Okay, 539. No, I could find it. 539.2 is correct. I can see on my whiteboard 539.2 written here. So P is 539. Maybe he just spoke it wrong. That's all. 593 would be 539 only. 539.2 tons, or maybe I heard it wrong and wrote it wrong. Please calculate, is the virtual GM 0.495 and the draft or depth at critical instant is 4.755 meters? Yes or no? Please calculate. Anybody who's not having the clue on how to go ahead, or anybody struggling with trim, please let me know. I have the solution. I don't want to unnecessarily spoon feed you on basics beta unless you need them.
सर P539.1 आ रहा है सर.
वन राउंड ऑफ करोगे तो 2 हो जाएगा बेटा. 1 के बाद देखो क्या आ रहा है. 1 के बाद देखो 6 या 7 कुछ 5 या 5 से ज्यादा आ रहा होगा. देन इट विल बी 0.2, राइट?
मेरा सर
Anyway,
राउंड ऑफ
if you're
करके
getting
1 आ रहा है.
okay, कोई बात नहीं. You take 0.1, no problem. Don't worry. Don't worry. Once you get P, please calculate the virtual GM and also let me know what will be the depth or the draft. Both will be same because there is no declivity. So question can ask you depth at critical instant, or the question can ask you draft at critical instant. So if somebody tries to confuse you in the exams, don't surrender, don't get confused. You should say that unless I get trim at change during critical period, I'll not be able to solve it because drafts are not given to me. I need P for virtual GM. I need P for draft, and I can get P only two ways, either by trim change or W minus B. W minus B, I don't have the information. And trim change, I need the trim. So then looking at the question, we are able to get the trim using the basic trim concept. Okay, anybody who's still solving for these two things, please let me know. I'll wait for you to complete it.
The depth of water will be equal to hydrostatic draft only, no sir?
You tell me what do
Yes,
you
sir.
think? Rather than
Yes,
me
sir.
saying yes or no, you tell why should it be so?
So because vessel is sitting, that's why all over blocks.
Yeah, but at the same time, you also need to keep track of declivity. If there was declivity, then draft at different points will be different. Okay. Here there
Yes,
is
sir.
no declivity. That also needs to be kept in mind, right? Then yes, depth and draft are same.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah. Tell me,
sir,
beta.
I'm not able to get the trim.
What did you do over last 4 days? What concept did you apply on trim, beta? Tell me.
Sir,
You don't have to get trim now. You should have got it earlier, beta. And you should have spoken it in the beginning when we were talking about everybody getting the draft. You started solving it now. That is the problem. You did not care to solve this question over last 3 days. You just got into action now. And when we are going to move on, you are saying, I can't get trim. Am I right, Gaurav?
Yes, sir, you are right, sir. I could not.
So then what is this, beta? If you don't want to care for instructions, then what do you want me to do? Then you would have known that you have some problem with the trim issues. You would have automatically revised had you made an effort earlier. Problem is, after everybody has finished the question, suddenly you realize, let me solve it, this I'll be able to do. And now you're saying, I'm having problem with the trim. If you don't care for instructions, then you'll always have tough time in exams. I can tell you this, because if something is advised, it's not for me to ease up my work. It's for me to make you learn the right way. And you don't want to learn the right way, it's your choice here. For last 3 days, 2 classes, unfortunately, we had to forego. Last class we had was on Saturday morning. And from Saturday morning till Tuesday evening, You did not bother to even recall what was done in the class. That means you have forgotten the earlier questions also because you never bothered to go through them. Tell me what is it that you have not understood here now. Tell me what is it that you have not understood, Gaurav, here.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
So, guys, one reason for doing this question was to address this type of question in the exam. This type of question in the exam. Okay. The second reason why we did this question was through a question, I wanted you to understand the concept of refloating. Because as a mate and a master, you are not only responsible for dry docking the ship, you also have to refloat her after the docking repairs and everything is completed. So this
Sir.
is how we did it. And this is the question now, which we have just completed. This is the question we just completed, beta. Okay.
सर
Yeah, tell me.
सर पी भी सही आ गया और वो डेप्थ भी सही आ गया बट जो वर्चुअल लॉस है वो मेरा 0.466 आ रहा है
466 आ रहा है, क्यों 466 आ रहा है बताओ?
466 माइनस करना है सर
एक मिनट ये रहा मेरे पास। कहाँ पे गलती है तुम्हारा बताओ? 466 के बाद वर्चुअल लॉस कौन माइनस करेगा? ये तो 466 इज वर्चुअल लॉस। व्हाट इज द वर्चुअल जीएम?
अच्छा वर्चुअल मैं वर्चुअल लॉस निकाल के रुक गया था अच्छा ठीक है
हाँ, तो वर्चुअल तो क्लास के बाद कुछ देख लिया अगर कभी।
नहीं आई थॉट कि यू ओके
No, okay. Did I say virtual loss? Oh, sorry, my mistake. If I said virtual loss, my mistake. Sorry. If it is so. Okay, fine. Sorry, guys. If I said so. So here is the solution. Okay now, Gurtej?
यस सर बाकी सेम है बाकी तो मैच हो गया बस वही मैं वर्चुअल लॉस निकाल के रुक गया
Now, why I did this question was basically, primarily one is this part of it. The same question is here. Same ship, same condition. MV hinge ship is to be refloated in seawater dry dock. Okay. Her calculated displacement is so much, kg is so much, lcg is so much, and fsm is so much. Calculate the virtual gm and depth of water above the blocks. Obviously depth means above the blocks when the bow just lifts off the blocks. Okay, all these values are same which you used, in which you got the trim of 2.357 meters by stern. You got a forward draft of 3.844 meters. You got the aft draft of 6.201 meters. I'm taking these down from my whiteboard, I know. Okay. You got the at critical instant, you got the virtual GM of 0.495 and you got reached the depth of water as 4.755 meters. These are the values we just got, guys. I'm sure all of you can get these values, right? Yes or no? So now, what will we do? First, we will forget about refloating. We shall assume that if this vessel was floating freely, that means first we shall assume that if this vessel was floating freely, if hinge ship was floating free, then what would be her trim? What will be the draft forward? And what will be the draft aft? First step we'll do is this. That in the given condition of displacement kg, lcg, fsm, if the ship was floating free, what would be her trim? by head or stern, whatever name it is, together with the value, what will be her draft forward and what will be her draft aft. And when you solve this first question, you will get this one as the answer. So this will be the answer to the first part of the question. Am I right, guys? Yes or no? Correct, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So once you get this answer, now I'm going to ask you a few questions and please answer. If this ship is to be dry docked, now I'm not talking of refloating. If this ship is to be dry docked, tell me what will be the depth at which critical period will begin. Tell me the depth at which critical period begins. Now look
6.20.
well,
6.201.
6.201 the critical period begins. Does everybody agree in the class?
Correct, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because the stern
Yes,
will
sir.
make contact when the depth reduces to 6.201. Now, what will be the depth at critical instant? Answer is again on the board only.
4.755.
4.755 meters. And what will be the virtual GM at critical instant? 0.495 meters. Right, guys? So that means, so for above condition in one, find the depth virtual GM and depth slash draft at critical instant. And for this second answer, second part of my question here, which I'll put in a green box. For this second part of the question here, this is the answer. Correct, beta? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, so at what draft forward, look at now, when this ship is docking, at what draft will bow just sit? At what depth will the bow just sit when she's docking? At what depth will bow just sit on the blocks when she's docking? Tell me.
4.755.
4.75.
Very good. 4.7, because that is the critical instant. I didn't use the word critical instant.
Yeah.
I said what is
Yes,
the
sir.
depth? What is the depth at which bow just sits, or she just sits overall? Both are same. And the answer is whatever was at critical instant, 4.755 meter. What is the virtual GM that time? 0.495 meters. So that means when the depth reaches 4.755 meters, bow will be the last thing to sit, or the entire ship will sit. So guys, tell me, if the bow just sits at 4.755 meter and now the level goes to 4 meters, depth goes to 4 meters, is the ship outside the critical period or within the critical period?
Outside the critical.
Outside. She's happily sitting on the blocks, right? Very good. Now, so just imagine somebody says the ship has to go out, abandon the docking process, ship has to go out. What will you do? You'll stop pumping out and now you'll start pumping in from 4 meters or whatever level, 3 meters or dry, whatever it may be. Now, what will happen? The level will start rising. What will happen first now? You are carrying out the river. Earlier, you were dropping the level. Now you are raising the level. So whatever sat when that at that level, it will lift off, yes or no? Am I right, Pita? So what will happen?
Correct, sir.
The stern will maintain contact. The other parts of the ship will lift, including the bow, when the depth reaches 4.755 meters. Am I right?
Agree, sir.
So the question says, at what depth will the bow just lift off the blocks? The bow will lift off the blocks at a depth of 4.755 meters. Am I right? Am I right, guys? And what is the virtual GM at that time? Virtual GM will be 4.495 meters. Why? Because nothing has changed. It is the same condition. If whether I was docking or undocking, the critical instant will be same. What will be the critical instant? When the ship comes to single point contact when you're flooding the dock, and that will happen at critical instant. And why I'm not saying bow lifts, because of course the ships usually dock with trimmed by stern, so bow will be the first one lifting, but I'm just making a more generic statement that when instead of the contact all over the length, contact is reduced to single point, that is the critical instant. So in this case, the bow will lift when the depth or the draft is 4.755 meters and the virtual GM will be 0.495. So when we undock the ship or refloat the ship, we carry out the calculations like this. First, we assume that the ship you assess the condition of the ship, you then calculate if she was floating free, what will be her trim and drafts at which you expect her to be floating when she is completely afloat. Then you try to imaginarily dock that ship, find out what will be the critical instant and what will be the GM at critical instant, and those will be the answers to your refloating problem also. Am I right, beta? Have you understood, guys? So this question has never come in the exams, but it is very much part of your content. So you cannot say that I did not do the refloating, I left it, I did all the questions of docking, but I left out the refloating. And forget about the exam. As a mate, you will be also required to refloat your ship. It's not only that you dock the ship and then sign off from there, right? You'll also have to refloat the vessel. Guys, any questions on refloating process? How to calculate this question on display? And that is why I wanted you to be little on top of trim, wanted you to do little bit of trim question so that it becomes easier to link the things in the class. Any questions, guys? With this, I come to end of dry docking. Of course, we'll continue the doubt solving process, but we come to end of this. I'll just end it with this photograph. This was very recently, 2016, not very old one, just about 8 years old. And you see how the naval ship in a refloating process on 5th December 2016, you can see her toppled sideways. So this can be the outcome of poor stability calculations during docking or refloating. And this is again not to frighten you, it is just to hammer across the point of seriousness, because dry docking and refloating both are very serious processes and you cannot afford mistakes in the calculations. Please, if your ship has to go, calculate as a mate, hand over to the master, let him recheck. If there's a mistake, let it be identified, correct that, and then only proceed further. Otherwise, you could be just putting yourself in trouble. Is it okay, beta? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now with this, I'll take you to grounding beta. Okay, there is one MMD question. What is that? Let me take this one while I leave it. Let me take this one. It has come twice. I think it is in your assignments also, which I'll share, but we can do it here, no problem. MV hinge ship is displacing 500 tons, trimmed 9,500 tons and trimmed 0.8 meters by stern, is to be dry docked for bottom inspection. KG 7.92, FSM so much. Calculate her GM fluid. So can you calculate the GM fluid of the ship before entering the dock or before touching the blocks? Or
Yes, sir.
before on touching the blocks?
Yes, sir.
Please calculate. It's a MMD question. For 9,500 tons, find out km minus kg minus FSC. Please find out the answer to part A. That is good 8 marks question for you. In fact, it's a 30 marks question, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So so then I can be giving 10 to each. So see if you can pocket 10 marks right away. Yes or no? It has come twice, maybe come more also. I don't know. Twice I've already written on my slide. Gaurav, can you give me the GM beta? I'll wait for GM from your side now.
Yes.
Yeah, please give me the GM.
8.983.
GM beta.
Oh, sorry, sir.
GM beta, GM. Manor. Even if the fluid word was not written, still you have to give GM fluid, okay? The MMT has been kind to write GM fluid. But even if the fluid was not there, it will not change the question. The question still remains the same. Question still remains the same.
0.8945.
895, okay. Round of two, okay. Is he right, guys? 0.895 is one answer that is coming.
0.895.
Okay, 0.895 is correct. Please calculate, guys. I'm waiting
Yes,
for
sir.
you.
Point
Don't lag.
nine-
Yeah, don't lag
0.895.
behind. Please complete. Please complete. It's a MMD question. This will give you some feel of it also, and will also give you the confidence that whatever we have covered is good enough for us to be able to attempt this MMD question at least. Guys, 0.895, anybody still getting it? Please let me know. I'll wait. And if I'm not hearing from anybody, then we continue. Those of you who have done part A, can you please do the virtual GM of the vessel when her keel takes to the blocks all along the length of the vessel? You know what is the meaning of this expression? Please give the answer to part 2. Calculate and give me the answer to part 2.
Sir, 0.8935.
0.893. Okay, people are getting 895, you are getting 894. That's okay. Okay, never mind. Okay. Do the second part of it then. Do the second part of it. The virtual GM of the ship when her keel takes to the blocks all along the length. I don't want to speak on it anymore. You know enough. I'll only chip in if you are having any issues. Guys, if you can complete first two parts, just be happy that 20 marks you're pocketed out of 30. Anji, what is the answer to part 2? Once you get it, let me know. Anybody who gets the answer can share it so that others can also validate. Gaurav, for part B, what are you doing, beta? What are you doing for part B? Gaurav,
Yes, sir.
what are you doing for part B, beta?
So first calculating P, sir.
P when? P for which?
P at
Time.
critical instant.
So you have got it, some value. Have you managed to get something? Yes or no? Give me the value then P at critical instant, beta. Calculate करके बताओ.
0.9, oh sorry, 0.797.
797. I'll write here. I'm just writing. I'm not saying it is right or wrong. 797. Okay. Gaurav, please calculate. All of you should calculate, guys. Use the time. You see, for me to rush through with the class, it's so simple. I would have most probably the solution on the following slides. I can show you the slides and say the question is understood, and you'll say yes. But then that's not going to serve the purpose, guys. Please practice. I don't mind if it results into extra class or something. That's okay. Let's not rush through just with the ritual of completing the syllabus. I'll be disappointed if it is.
Sir, 0.796 P.
Very good. 796, 797 is then okay. That means okay. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
Both
मैंने
are,
round off किया था sir 6
that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. The both are right. Then it must be a rounding off issue. Gaurav, what is the P at critical instant, beta?
$181.9.
Is that correct, guys? Can you confirm?
Yes, sir, 181.9.
Very good. Very good. Gaurav, keep solving. Don't just don't
Yes,
give
sir.
up like this. Okay.
181.9.
Okay. Fine.
0.796.
Okay, very good. I think that's correct. We'll see. So last part I'll discuss one. Let me show you A and B, and then forward and aft drafts at which virtual GM of the vessel becomes 0, or the question could have been said, find the drafts forward and aft at which the vessel becomes unstable. Both would have meant the same thing. Okay. Anyway, these are the different languages we can use. So the KM is 8.983, guys, for the given displacement. We have the particulars, TPC, MCTC, LCF, everything. Why TPC? This is for the third part. We have taken it down here. And now we can find out the GM of the vessel. It's 0.895, correct, beta? Am I right? GM is 0.895, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we go to the second part.
Just calculating.
अभी तक कैलकुलेट नहीं हुआ तुम्हारा? क्या हो गया GM fluid? Who was that? Yeah.
मेरा रह गया था, हो गया.
नहीं तो अब तक you're on part 1 only.
पार्ट 2 अभी हुआ है सर.
Part 1 की, this is part 1 GM बेटे. This is part 1 GM बच्चे. 895 has matched. This is part A.
Sir, part 2 answer 0.79.
0.9797 या 796, two answers people are giving. 797 and 796, which are same practically.
Sir, 0.797.
Yeah, okay, fine, that's okay.
0.797.
Yes, sir. Yes, Dushyant, you have raised the hand. Tell me what is the issue.
Sir, just telling the answer, sir,
Okay.
0.797, sir.
Okay, thanks, beta. Thanks. Okay. This is part B of the question. At critical instant, we get the P 181.9. Gaurav had also validated it. And now for W minus P, we have to get the Km. And that is 9.043. And then we go on to get the GM as 0.796 or 797. Both are correct. Don't worry if you're getting 797, it's perfectly fine. No issues. So I'm sure first two parts, all of you are comfortable beta now. That will also give you the confidence that you have understood it reasonably well. Only thing is here the stage of the docking was stated in the question. If it happens to be like question 2 or 3, where the stage of docking is not known, then you will have an additional step of ascertaining whether she is within the critical period or outside, which was not required here because he had given you that he wants GM for this particular time. Now we go to the third part of the question, guys. Now there are two ways of doing this third part, beta, and you can do it either way. Both will be taken as right. Both answers will be different, I know, but don't worry. Some people want to link it to this question part, but link is one what? Not further loss of 0.796. No. They just want to say that since the okay, first let me just do the question third part says find the drafts forward and aft when the virtual GM becomes 0, or I said when the vessel becomes unstable. Both would have meant this. So that means we have to find out the stage, the draft, the depth when the vessel GM is 0. Okay, so now this becomes like question number 2. Why? If you remember, in question number 2, he wanted the virtual GM to be not less than 0.4. Correct, beta? Am I right?
Yes.
So I'm linking it to what you have already done. So this question now for the third part, it becomes like question number 2, where instead of 0.4, you want GM of 0. Okay. So now, guys, the thing here is you will get the Km, but Km for what? Ideally, Km should be for W minus P, but P for part 3 is not available to you. So what will you do? You will pick up the Km for W, which was here in the table a while back. We saw the Km for W
8.983.
8.983. So we have the Km for W 8.983 meters. We have the kg of the vessel given to us 7.920. I have the solution, but I don't want to take you there. This will give us GM solid, which will be 360. What if there is any mistake? We can correct it. 1.063 meters. Basically, my desired virtual GM is 0. What is the maximum permissible loss? So we are repeating question number 2 here. This is the GM I can afford to lose. Am I right, Vita?
No.
Yes.
Correct, sir, correct.
Everybody is aligned up to this place? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Now comes the issue. Issue is somebody may link it to part 2 of the question. Somebody may not link it to part 2 of the question. Both are okay. Let me just clear the screen from here. First, remove all this data. Now, somebody may say in part B of the question, so one approach will be this. In part B above, GM at critical instant was 0.797 or 796 meter, whatever you want to write. Am I right? What does it mean? Since you had a positive GM here, therefore, vessel virtual GM shall be 0 only after the critical period is over. Therefore, the FSC is not applicable. One approach is this, and you can put this remark and solve it. Then what will happen? This 1.063 that you have to lose will be only lost on account of virtual loss. Am I right, beta?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you will get some P. And virtual loss will be P into kg upon W minus P. It will give you some P. Then you will improve this P by single iteration. And you will get the value of P, which you will use for the final closure of the question. Correct, beta? Am I right? Am I right, class? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The other way of doing the same question is it does not make much difference. It makes slight difference in the answers, but both. So if you want to do this way, then you have to write this remark that I have written. Of course, you can change the language a little bit here and there, as long as it conveys the same meaning. So it is not that the language has to be verbatim the same. Okay. The other way of doing this question could be, the second way of doing this question is, I don't link it to part 2. And I say, I don't know kahan aayega, jaane do. I don't link it to part 2. And I continue like the same way. The virtual loss, maximum permissible loss is 1.063. 1.063 is on account of FSC, that is FSM upon W minus P plus P into kg upon W minus P. And I don't give any reference to the first part. I just ignore that previous part. Because when I do not know which stage she is going to be unstable, I can pretend I don't know. I don't want to keep it independent. Never mind. So in that case, I will get P again, because then I'll apply the FSC also. Then I'll do single iteration as we did in question number 2 and find another P, and then we'll close out the question to get the draft and the depth. I have done it this way. Okay, but if somebody, why I have already told you here is that before you start doubting your learning and you start saying, sir, why is FSC applicable here? It's up to you. You don't want to consider FSC. You have to be loud and clear through your statement that you are linking it to the previous part where you found the GM to be positive at critical instant. So you know that she will be unstable in a phase outside the critical instant period, and therefore you have not factored your FSC into calculation. Am I right, guys? But I personally, if you ask me which way, I would prefer the blue one. But if somebody does the red way, it is not wrong. So don't unnecessarily doubt yourself. Okay? Am I clear, class? You don't have to do both ways. You have to do only one way. Is it clear, beta? Any questions before I show you the solution?
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, like here we have did in the blue one, max permissible loss is equal to FSC plus
Plus
virtual loss.
Because
Yes, sir.
I'm not
I
linking it to
saw in
yeah.
one question, I saw in MV Hintship, sir, what they did. First, they have taken the same FSC which is given in the initial for 9,500 ton.
That is
The
beta.
FSC
How
and
beta? If you are following this method that P is virtually discharged, then FSC would change. No.
yes, sir. So what they
Yeah,
did is they
so let
calculated
them
the.
do. Let them do. Yeah, doesn't matter. Don't
But
worry. You whatever you've learned,
okay,
be confident about yourself. Don't worry. Okay.
okay, okay.
Don't doubt yourself.
Okay.
सर
हाँ बेटा.
सर इसमें हमें तो अब GM तो पता ही है 1.063 then why do we need iteration सर?
हैं? ये GM वर्चुअल लॉस कौन सा KM यूज किया ऊपर? पुनर
हाँ
KM is used for what?
yes sir.
Km is used for W.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Guys, why don't shift goalpost in the questions, and wherever there is a possibility of possible shifting, I'll announce it up front so that it does not create confusion. So here, since there was an option of going either way, so I said you could do either way, both would be right. So don't unnecessarily start doubting. Somebody says, "Hey, why did you apply FSC?" and then you start wondering, why did I apply FSC? Or if you have not applied FSC and somebody says FSC should have been applied every inch if they have applied the FSC, then you should not unnecessarily bother yourself, because you have given the reason why you have not allowed FSC in the red working to the left side of the board, right, beta? Is that clear? Clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll show you the third part of the question. This we have already discussed. Now we go to the third part. Now we calculate P. So we got one P. We got this one P beta 946.1. I have used with FSC. If you want to calculate, you can calculate it and calculate the second P. Just guys, I'll hold this board here. Can you please calculate it and see? Please calculate the P. I'll hold till you calculate so that you don't have to struggle with this question later on. And after single one iteration, I'm getting a P of 1282.7. You see, there's a difference of almost 300 plus tons, which has come in. Please do it and let me know over next one and a half minute. Close it out. P, but I have used for both FSC and this. So if you're doing only without FSC, then of course your answer will be slightly different from mine, but that's okay. After single iteration, 1282.7. Please calculate. And let me see what I would get without FSC. Let me do it without FSC also. Or 1.063 is equal to P into 7.9495 SP. This comes to 1472. Am I right? Is it? This is okay. Yeah.
1124.
1124. Okay. So you are using the mobile calculator. 1124.
24.2.
Point
Yes, sir.
24. So there's a
Okay.
difference of about 200 tons which will come. Okay. Guys, after second iteration through with both the losses, is it coming 1282.7? Can you please validate?
The 1282.7 hours.
Okay, very good. Good. Let them do also. Question wants the question wants the draft forward and aft. Now, once you know the P, can you get the draft forward aft, please?
Yes, sir.
You can get the high draft declination is 0. Same will be the drafts forward and aft. So you'll say you'll get the draft for W minus P draft, and then you'll say as there is no declivity of the dock, vessel will be on even keel outside the critical period. So this same will be the draft forward and aft. Same would be the drafts forward and aft.
4.36.
Okay,
First
that is
iteration.
the M&D question, beta, which can fetch you 30 marks. Okay, so you just have to, and sometimes if you have a doubt in third question, why unnecessarily bother your part here to just keep your cool. Always say, okay, since this is from compulsory section, so even if I know one part, I must attempt one part. Why should I leave that? Don't start thinking I don't know the next two parts. At least one part gather, and those 10 marks, maybe they make all the difference between in your results. So don't unnecessarily panic in the exams, because whatever preparation you had to do, whatever you could do, you have done it, good or bad, whatever. Now, once you are in the exam hall, you have to optimize the performance and get maximum marks that you can get on that particular day. So that's why you have to break down the question to parts and see which parts can you do, and especially from you see, when these are optional questions, you can say, okay, I know this one better than the other. But in the compulsory section, you have to see, even if you know one part, don't miss out on it. Just do that so that at least something you're able to salvage from the question. Guys, I have done the multiple iterations of this question. You see, I want to show you the effect of iteration. You see, when you took Km for W, you got this much P. Then you did first iteration. In first iteration, the difference is 340 plus, almost 300. 340 tons ka difference hai almost. This is after the second iteration, and you see what is the difference reduced to suddenly? It's reduced to just under about 4, 2 and 6, 4, about 144 tons. From 340 tons, straight away the difference is reduced to 144 tons. You do the third iteration, and you see what is the difference now reduced to? 60 tons. And you do one more, maybe this will come down to 20 tons. Who knows? I don't know. I've not calculated. So can you see the successive errors are coming down with successive iterations? Can you see better the difference between the value before the iteration and after the iteration? They are getting closer with each iteration. Can you see that better? Guys, can you see that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is the power of iteration. We can't keep doing the iteration, but you see, in the first iteration, the difference got reduced from the P got reduced from 340 to 144. In the next iteration, it got improved to 63.2. It can increase also. It is not that every time it is, but the difference between the values is decreasing. First, the value difference was 340, then it got to 144, then it got to 63, then next maybe 30, 20, whatever, 10, and you keep doing this, a stage will come where the error will be negligible, and that is the accurate value. And in science, depending on what degree of accuracy you need, you can continue having multiple iterations. We don't have the time to continue this game, therefore we abandon it after one iteration. But if I've just shown it here for you so that you can appreciate what is the power of iteration. It's a scientific process. It's not something just for the sake of increasing the working. It's a scientific process to improve upon accuracy. If you cannot break the deadlock, and you have to start with something which is approximate. Is that clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Now with this, we come to end of dry docking, guys. And this is good enough for you to
I
learn
just
if you
had
want.
one question.
Tell me. Go ahead, go ahead.
इसमें once we find the final P after one iteration,
Yeah.
उसमें जो mean rise निकालने के लिए again since we don't know the exact one, we'll just use the initial TPC, right?
Beta, I'm again saying the same thing. Km we know would be accurate if we use it for W minus P. Others, whether you use for W or you use for W minus P, both will induce error. So might as well continue with something which is already available to us, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But in this case, you don't need mean rise. Na? In this case, you don't need mean rise. Here you have the hydrostatic particulars, correct? So W, you can get the draft against W minus P, na, beta. But yes, if TPC was to be used, it will be used for what we took for the earlier one, right? Okay.
Okay, sir. Perfect.
सर एक चीज थी
Yeah.
एक वो क्वेश्चन था कि अभी सिंस अभी वो पार्ट्स में जो हमने किया है क्वेश्चन, तो
हाँ।
ऐसी एक है जो हमारा असाइनमेंट में जो था ड्राई डॉकिंग में,
हाँ तो
हमने
असाइनमेंट
वो
में दूंगा, मैं दूंगा ना असाइनमेंट में, अदर्स हैव नॉट
नहीं
सीन इट ना।
नहीं सर, ये जो आपने दिया है था
हाँ,
ड्राई डॉकिंग
अच्छा,
का, उसकी
ओके,
बात
हाँ
कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ बोलो।
तो हमने क्लास में भी किया था,
हाँ।
सो उसमें जो है जो क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 था,
ये इट्स हियर। हाँ, टेल मी बेटा।
जी सर। सो अभी इसमें स्टार्टिंग में तो इसने रेजिडुअल जीएम मांगा है, सो हम लोग
रेजिड्यू, ओके, यू हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद क्वेश्चन नंबर 7?
जी सर।
हैव वी नॉट डन इट? ओके,
नहीं, वी हैव डन इट, तो उसी में
Okay.
मेरे को वो था क्वेश्चन
हाँ हाँ
पूछना था
बोलो
कि अभी पार्ट ए में तो उसने हमें बताया नहीं कि डेक्लिविटी है कि नहीं है, सो हमने जो वो किया था
No.
इनिशियली।
The declivity is given for the full question. It is the same doc, no? You have to read the question till the end.
हाँ, तो यही मेरे को एक चीज पूछना,
No,
सो
no,
इफ द डेक्लिविटी इज गिवन तो वो पूरे क्वेश्चन में
Yes, the question is
applicable है।
related to one dry dock operation. No, it cannot be two different dry dock operations in the same question, right?
जी जी, ठीक है,
Right?
ओके ओके ओके, ठीक।
Okay, guys. Guys, I'll give you a break after little bit of discussion pep talk before, and in which I'll ask you to revise some things. So some simple things we'll do, and then I'll give you the break. Don't worry. Now, guys, you can tell me around. Somebody can sound me around 1900 hours plus minus 5-10 minutes here and there, and then we can take a small break there. No problem. Now, before I start further discussion, let me just do the brief. Why are we clubbing grounding of the ship with the dry docking? Which dry docking? Dry docking in the graving dock. Okay. Guys, why we are clubbing grounding with dry docking is what happens when your ship runs aground. It touches the bottom seabed. Okay. And this is exactly what you're doing in the dry docking. You're making your ship touch the blocks, the bottom, right? You're making your ship touch the bottom. So dry docking and grounding are technically, from stability perspective, they are identical or similar occurrences. I would not say that. Okay. So as far as stability is concerned, both are identical. Why? Because as far as what you are doing in both the cases, the ship is making contact with the bottom, making contact with bottom. Do you agree that in both the, whether it is dry docking or grounding, the ship is making contact with the ground bottom? Yes or no? Am I right? Correct, beta? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the effect on stability of grounding will be similar to that of dry docking. So if you have not understood dry docking, you'll have problems in grounding. And if you understood it well and you can correlate to the questions we have done, you'll be able to find your way, right? What is the difference between the two? So this is the similarity as far as stability is concerned. What is the difference? Difference is dry docking, grounding. This is intentional. You want to take the ship to dry dock out of choice. This is accidental. This is controlled. Controlled in what sense? Which point to contact first? What is the rate of pumping out? It's controlled. Grounding, it's uncontrolled. You don't have any control over it. The stern can make contact first, the bow can make contact first, or somewhere else it can make contact first. So you have no control over it. And if you are in a tidal stream, the rate at which the tide will fall or rise, you have no control whatsoever. Of course, when we are talking of grounding here, we are talking of the grounding assuming that the hull is intact. If the hull is damaged, it goes into damage stability, then the calculations will fall under the purview of damage stability. So here, when grounding takes place, the watertight integrity of the ship is not hampered or not affected. So grounding is uncontrolled. You don't know which point is going to make contact first. You do not know what will happen to tide, whether it will rise or fall, by how much and at what rate, you do not know. Okay. And lastly, in dry docking, after the ship is outside the critical period, the FSC is not applicable because the ship cannot topple sideways. She is adequately supported. But in grounding, even if the ship is sitting on the seabed completely, she is not supported adequately. Why? Because she will be affected by wind, she'll be affected by the wave action. So she's exposed to the external conditions. So in grounding, FSC will be always applicable. Even if the ship is sitting completely on the seabed, FSC shall still be applicable. Why? Because the vessel will be not in your control. It will be exposed to waves. And where is it supported? Is it supported entire breadth, not breadth? What is the nature of the seabed? Is it marshy? It is solid? It is reef? Those things are not in your control. Therefore, FSC in grounding is always applicable. There is no stage in which FSC is to be ignored. Am I clear, beta? Guys, any questions on what I said just now? If you understand what I'm telling you here, you will find grounding almost under your control also. Any questions on what I've said here, guys? Clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, another thing you have to keep in mind is that there can be two situations of grounding. One is in shallow waters. What is the risk in shallow waters? Risk in shallow waters is that the vessel may run aground at one point, or the vessel may sit on the seabed completely. Yes or no, beta? Am I right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in shallow waters, she may be at a single point contact, or she may be sitting completely, sitting overall on the seabed. Else, she could be grounded in on isolated reef or rock in deep waters. When it is isolated reef in deep waters, you don't have a chance of vessel sitting overall. The vessel will be always on single point contact. This is the simplest of all the problems. Guys, if you understood this slide well, then that is where the problem will be controlled. If you have any questions to ask, let me know. Please go through whatever I've written again, see whether you understood or not. If you have not understood anything that I've said, let me know. Clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes.
now, in dry docking, we knew always what was the trim of the ship, what was the declivity, and we could make her enter whichever trim and point we wanted to make contact with. In grounding in shallow waters, now you will have some, and today I'm going to take you to this because I don't want to leave this for the last day of the topic. This second one will be simple. Tomorrow you'll all be happy that you know the stuff. Okay, so we'll leave on high tomorrow. But shallow water, it is like your questions 2 and 3 of dry docking. Not 2 and 3, sorry, my mistake, 3 and 4, beta. Question 3 and 4. In question 3 and 4, you did not know whether the ship was within the critical period or outside. So therefore, you had to establish first whether she's sitting completely or not. Guys, we will not use the word critical period or critical instant for grounding. Those words are only for dry docking. But the occurrences will be similar, but they will not be named the same. When the ship makes first contact in grounding, that is like the beginning of the critical period. I'm saying like, I'm not saying it is the beginning of the critical period. Don't misunderstand me. Then when the ship touches the seabed completely, first time, that is like the vessel reaching the critical instant. But like not reaching the critical instant, we will not use the word critical instant. So please remember, critical period and critical instant are the technical terms associated only with the dry docking process. You may have similar occurrences in grounding, but these two terms shall not be used out for grounding. Am I clear, guys? Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay. So please be very clear, and there will be no problems at all. And today, if anybody wants to take the screenshot of this, take it. It's a very, very important stuff on this particular sheet. It is going to help you a lot. And when I give you break after one question, while you are taking the break, please go through question number 3 and 4. Those of you or recall that, depending on how much you need to go through those questions so that you don't struggle with the grounding questions. And if you understand, and why I'm saying is, why I'm telling you go through them is because the lesser you get stuck, more confidence you'll have in your own self. Otherwise, every time you'll feel that you need a push, you need hand holding, I think you need to come out of it now. Okay. We'll do one question and then take a break. And if you have to get now I'll ask you a few questions as I move further. MV Hinge ship is at seawater, drawing 8 meters forward and aft, kg 6.5 meters, FSM 1000 ton meter. The seabed is even and horizontal. At low water, the depth around the ship is expected to drop to 7 meters. Find the virtual GM at low water. Guys, now tell me, will at low water depth of 7 meters, will the vessel be aground? Yes or no? Look at the information of the question.
Yes, sir.
In grounding or dry docking, the first question you'll ask, now I'm telling you what you'll ask yourself. First point of contact. Or, okay. Guys, before that, 0 point. If you have to calculate virtual GM, what do you need? You need basically P at low water, correct? Am I right? For virtual GM, what do you need? P at low water, correct, beta?
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And once you get P at low water, then you know what were you doing in dry docking. You'll get Km for W minus P and follow the process and get the GM. Am I right, beta? Yes or no? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct, beta? So what is our effort? Our effort is to find P. How many methods of calculating P you know, guys? 2 methods. Which methods?
methods.
W minus
W
B
minus B.
or TC. TC will be applicable only when the trim is changing. W minus B can be applied anytime whenever you have the information, no problem, no restrictions. So what will you first do in these questions? You'll first find out which is the first point of contact. Look at the question in totality and tell me which will be the first point that will make contact with the seabed.
Entire
Sir,
it will sit
That
all
is-
over.
Any point we
All
can
over.
take.
I know there is nothing like this. I'm asking which will be the first point of contact.
All over, sir.
All over.
sir. It will
There's
Any
nothing
point
like we can. How can you take any point? She'll sit at the same time. So why you have to take one point? Is that the only point when you say, if somebody says aft is the first point of contact and somebody says forward is the first point of contact, are they both talking sense in the same question? And if you're saying both are giving the same result, then she's making contact all over. How can I take any point? Any point does not seem to be answering the question. Where is she making contact first? She is sitting on the seabed completely, so she's making contact. I know you wanted to say the same thing, but in trying to say correctly to your own self, what you are doing is you'll end up confusing yourself if you don't talk to yourself in the right perspective. She is going to make contact at the same time all along the length. Yes or no? Correct? What is the reason
Yes.
for it,
Yes, sir.
beta? What is the reason for it? Why is she going to
Because
make
the
contact?
seabed is
Even keel
Even
and
keel,
the bed is also horizontal.
Okay, your answer is correct, but a better answer to that is because
There is no inclination of the seabed and ship is
yeah,
in
I'll give you a better term for that. If this is the seabed and the vessel is floating free, the vessel is floating at a draft of 8 meters. 8 meters even keel, yes? Yeah. She will make contact the same time because the keel and the seabed are parallel to each other. That is the better answer, which will always help you in sorting out the issue. You have said it correctly, but the reason why it will sit the same time is because this part of the vessel and this seabed, they are parallel to each other. So as the level falls, UKC everywhere is same. Vessel is going to sit the same time. Correct, beta? So correct, better answer, but not correct. Better answer is the keel and the seabed are parallel to each other. Correct, beta? Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Correct.
You see,
Yes, sir.
if the seabed was like this, and the ship was also trimmed the same way, and again the keel was parallel to the seabed, this ship will also sit at the same time. Yes or no, beta? Am I right?
If the trim and declivity will be the same.
अरे यार तो declivity word dry dock का मेरे भाई रहने दे.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Same time contact.
So why A and B will sit at the same time? Because in both cases, the keel
Parallel
and the
to each
seabed were parallel to each other. Do you agree that this is a better way to express? Yes or no, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So your inference was right, but it can be better understood if you say they are both parallel. So now, this is the initial part of the vessel. Then at low water, how will be the strength? Seabed will remain horizontal and even. Ship will be sitting completely here. And now the depth is 7 meters. So what will be the draft of the ship now? 7 meters? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Am I right? Now, if you look at diagram, these two diagrams, can I find P at low water? How can I find at low water? Is there a change in trim that has taken place?
No, sir.
No,
So
sir,
how can
change
I
in draft.
Sir, वो
In
W minus B, correct?
W8 minus W7.
Very good. And W7 will be W minus P basically, correct? W7 will be W minus P, correct, beta?
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
W8 will be W8 will be W, and W7 will be W minus P, correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
So see how simple it becomes. See how simple it becomes. This is the initial condition. This is low water condition. P at low water is 2336 tons. Yes or no? Both are directly documented in your thing. W at 8 meters is 16635. This is actually W. And this is W minus P. Correct, beta? Am I right? 14299 is W minus P. Correct, beta? Can you find out the GM now, guys? Can you please find out the GM now? Virtual GM at low water. And then we'll take a break. Calculate the virtual GM at low water. Anybody who gets can give the answers or for others to validate.
Point 626.
Okay, 0.626. Can somebody validate? 0.626 has already come in the class, guys. Is 0.626 correct? Somebody else should be able to validate.
Yes, sir, correct. 0.626.
Okay, very good. Guys, I have the solution. It's not that I don't have the solution, but it doesn't serve purpose if I keep showing you front.
0.626,
So,
sir.
yeah, correct. So what has happened? We have done a simple grounding scenario, a very simplified grounding scenario. The stability working is very similar to dry docking, and we have followed the same concept. So it was basically to convey that the calculations, the pattern of calculations will remain the same as in dry docking. Okay, guys, now you can take a break. Now the time is, let me just see the time in my mobile. Time is 19:01. How much break you want? 9 minutes is good enough, guys. 19:10 shall we resume?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 19:10 we go to the next question. Please plug in time so that next question is quite important, and if you want to recall while you're having a break, recall question number 3 and 4 if you can. Okay, then we start at 19:10 beta. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, class, can we start now, guys? Shall we get going?
Yes, sir.
Can we start, guys? Are you in?
Sir.
I've shared the questions with you. You might have seen on the shared screen also. I've shared the questions with you on the group. Okay, guys. MV in ship drawing 5.2 meters and 7.8 meters in seawater, kgfsm given. Runs aground lightly. Guys, please pay attention to these few words. Lightly means contact is made, no upthrust. That is the meaning of light grounding. Is that clear, beta? That means the vessel has touched the seabed, but there is no upthrust yet. That means if you compare it or correlate it to the dry docking in our earlier explanation, where the ship entered with 5 meters and 7 meters, the dry dock, at 7 meters depth of the water, the vessel made light contact with the blocks aft. The contact was made, but there was no upthrust. So it is similar to that. A ground lightly means touch is made, contact is made at one point or all over. That's not the issue. Contact is made, but there is still no upthrust. Is the word meaning lightly clear, beta? Is the meaning of the word lightly clear? Class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On a sandy shore, soundings taken indicate that the depth of the water near the after perpendicular is 1 meter more than the forward perpendicular. This means the seabed is not horizontal because the depth of the water taken at the two ends is not same. If the tide is falling, calculate the drop in water level at which the ship will sit overall on the seabed. Guys, if this was dry docking, this would be similar to what occurrence? Part 1 will be similar to what occurrence?
Taking all over the block, sir.
What is that called, Hunar?
Critical
Zero
instant.
पे sir.
Critical instant, correct? We don't
Yes, sir.
use the word critical instant, but it is similar to critical instant in dry docking. Once you get that level drop, you can get P also first, and then level drop, whatever it is. And then the drop in level at which the ship would become unstable. That is a further calculation. We'll deal with part 3 later. Okay. Now, as I said in my introductory slide before the break, first thing we'll have to determine will be, okay, she ran aground lightly. Which is the first point of contact? And you don't have to say, announce it in the exam. You have to ask for yourself. Which is the first point of contact, guys, in this case? What do you think and why? Tell me.
Parallel to the keel aft.
Why aft?
Turn
Why stern? Tell me. Why? Give me the why.
draft. So she's trimmed by stern, so the lowest portion will run aground.
Is trimmed by stern.
If my ship is trimmed by stern, very good. Okay, fine. This is my ship trimmed by stern. Okay. And my seabed is like this. Now tell me which point will run aground first. She is trimmed by stern. What does it mean?
The
The
forward part.
seabed. So then is the trim of the ship good enough a reason? Here also my ship is trimmed by stern. It's okay, but it is the bow which is going to touch first. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir, in the question it says depth of
Sir,
water near the
also
upper
says
perpendicular
forward
is
down.
1 meter
Arey bhai,
more.
whatever you have to give me complete answer. I know what the question is saying. When I asked you why you said stern is going to make contact first, the answer I got was she's trimmed by stern. Correct? So my question
Sir,
is now,
also because
सर 7.8 से 1 मीटर माइनस भी करेंगे तो 6.8 होगा जो फॉरवर्ड ड्राफ्ट से ज्यादा है इस कारण स्टन पहले टच करेगा सर.
okay. So that means you cannot only take the trim of the ship, you have to take the slope of the seabed also. Yes or no?
सर इसमें डेक्लिविटी है एक्यूमीटर की?
अरे भाई स्लोप ऑफ द सी बेड बोल रहे, डेक्लिविटी छोड़ दे यार, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले भी बोला था। डेक्लिविटी इज स्पेसिफिक टू ड्राई डॉक। Guys, do you understand that it is not only the trim of the ship, it is also the slope of the seabed which has to be taken into account? Yes or no? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The best way to figure out is see where you have where is the least under keel clearance. In this question, least under keel clearance is here. This under keel clearance is more. So she will obviously, bow will be the first point of contact in this one. Let's make a diagram specific to this question. The vessel is trimmed how much? Vessel is trimmed 2.6 meters by stern. So vessel is trimmed like this. This is 7.8. This is 5.2. The seabed, the sounding is 1 meter more. So let us say guys, let us say the sounding aft. Let us say sounding aft is 10 meters. So what will be the sounding forward? I'm just assuming this 10 meters, okay? If the sounding aft is 10 meters, what will be the sounding forward?
9 meters.
9 meters.
9 meters.
Sounding forward will be 9 meters. And this will be the seabed. What is the underkeel? What is the UKC aft? What is the UKC aft? 10 minus 7.8, that is 2.2. What is the UKC forward? 9 minus 5.2, that means 8, 3.8 meters. Am I right, guys? Yes or no? The underkeel clearance in this case will be 3.8 meters forward and 2.2 meters aft. Do you agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the first point of contact will be the point of minimum UKC, right, beta? As the level falls, now the ship will keep coming down. And where will the UKC become 0 first? It will become 0 first at stern. So your answer that the stern will be the first point of contact was right. But reason has to factor in both trim and the slope of the seabed. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so every question you'll be asking these questions to yourself, especially in shallow water grounding. Okay, so don't unnecessarily get confused. So first point of contact in this case is the stern. Very good. Guys, since the slope of the seabed is there at depth everywhere is not the same. So in case of grounding where the seabed has a slope, or in case of dry docking where you have declivity, when we say the depth, we have to identify the point where we are talking about the depth, because the depth and draft at different points may be different. Yes or no, beta? Correct? Am I clear about it? Correct? So now, since stern is the first point of contact, our all calculations will hover around the stern. So our calculations will hover around the first point of contact. So always it is important that you figure out which is the first point of contact. Am I clear, guys? So your first effort will be to find first point of contact, and now you will cling on to it and work. Okay, now my next point is, at what depth will stern make first contact?
7.8.
7.8. Okay. Stern makes first contact. 7.8 meters. Why I'm talking of stern? Because once you said it is the first point of contact, now I'll keep talking about that only. Okay. If it was the bow which was making first contact, I'll catch on to the bow then, front forward part. At 7.8 meters, the stern will make first contact. Guys, then one statement I made very emphatically, and I'll repeat it once again, that at point of contact, once the contact is made, depth and draft at that point keep changing together. Am I right, beta? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So if the level keeps falling below 7.8, you may not be able to comment on draft elsewhere, but you can definitely comment on the draft aft. When the depth becomes 7.5 meters aft, the draft aft will also be 7.5 meters. When depth aft becomes 7 meters, draft aft will also become 7 meters. Does everybody agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now, what is the trim of the ship? What is the initial trim of the ship? Or trim on entry? It is 2.6 meters
2.6 by stern.
by stern. If the ship has to sit completely on the seabed, what should her trim be? If the ship has to
1
sit
meter.
completely.
1 meter, sir. 1
done.
meter.
Okay, so trim at just sitting overall. You see, this just sitting overall is 1 meter by stern. So what is the change in trim required for vessel to sit overall?
1.6 meters by
1.6
head.
meters by head,
1.6 by head.
right? And if I know the trim change, I can calculate P. I can get the P for this particular occurrence. Yes or no? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Correct, beta? This is right. So
Yes, sir.
when she just sits overall, that is similar to the critical instant in dry docking. So I can get the P when she just sits overall. And once I get P, can I get the answer to part 2 of the question? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Can I score 10 marks from here out of 30? Am I good enough to get 10 marks part 2? Right, guys? Okay. Okay. Now, please calculate the hydrostatic draft. Now, listen to me now. Part A also, let me explain. When she lightly is aground, when she is lightly aground, this is the condition. This is where the question starts. Vessel runs aground lightly. That means stern has made a light contact. That means there is no upthrust. On light grounding, how much is the depth aft, guys? Look at the diagram and tell me.
7.8.
And
7.8.
and what is the draft aft? 7.8. Correct? Do you agree? Yes or no? Correct? Now at this time, what is the depth forward? Sorry,
6.8.
what is the 6.8 and what is the draft forward?
5.4.
Very good, Shabash.
5.4 is.
Whatever it was initially, 5.2. Why 5.4? It was 5.2, na beta?
Sir, वो गलती से.
Okay, ठीक है. Then as long as you are right, it's okay. 5.2. It is the same draft as with which she entered. So right now, is there any upthrust? No, because the draft forward and draft aft are unchanged. So the buoyancy is supporting the weight. Am I right, guys? Yes or no? Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
when she just sits overall, just at the instant of just sitting overall, just means first time sitting overall. Let us say the depth aft is X meters. So what will be the draft aft? If the depth aft is X meters in diagram B, what will be the draft aft?
X.
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 Very good. What will be the depth and draft forward in this case?
X minus
X
1.
minus 1.
Is it clear now? Correct, guys? Correct? Yes or no? Correct,
Yes.
guys? Now you tell me, look at these two diagrams. The question started when the depth at this point was 7.8 meters. She just sits overall when the depth at the same point is X meters. So what is the fall in level? Fall in level is 7 point minus x meters. Yes or no, beta? Fall in water level will be 7.8 minus x. Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Guys, let me know if there is any concern, because how we calculate x will fight out later. First, let us see whether we understand what we need to calculate. Now, when I say depth, I have to define the point. Depth aft was 7.8 at light grounding. Depth at the same point aft, when she just sits overall, is x meters in our diagram, lower diagram. So between the two diagrams, what is the fall in level? It is the depth on light grounding minus the depth when she sits overall. So it will be 7.8 minus x. Am I right, guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Guys, have you understood that the fall in level will be 7.8 minus x? Yes or no? Bolo
Yes,
bhai?
sir.
Yes, sir.
If anybody has a problem in comprehending, let me know. Don't bring me back here after we finish the question. Can you explain me why it is 7.8 minus x? Now that will be frustrating. You can ask as many times as you want now. So I presume
ऐसे भी हो
everybody
सकता है।
agrees that the fall in level will be 7.8 minus. So if I can calculate the value of x, I'll get the answer 1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I calculate x, if I get the value of x, then 7.8 minus x is the answer 1. Fall in level required for the vessel to sit overall. Correct. So guys, we will cling on to the first point of contact. We'll cling on to first point of contact, okay? Why? Because we know the draft aft at 7.8. So basically what happens? To get the depth aft, I need to get the draft aft. When she just sits overall. And that will be my x. Okay. So see, once I get the up thrust, you have already told me that you will be able to get P for part B. Once you get part B, look at this lower diagram. Once you get the virtual discharge, use your knowledge of discharging. And if knowledge of discharging, hydrostatic draft, displacement, trim, TATF, and I have given you enough hints. How can I get this draft aft, which will be equal to depth aft, which will be equal to x meters once I get P? Let us say this P is 500 tons. Let us say, I'm just putting value. Let us say the displacement of the vessel is 10,000 tons. How do I, this is MV Hinship. How do I go to get X with these values? Tell me, guys. It's all that you know already, beta. Tell me, go, don't hold yourself.
Sir, we can get high draft from this.
Okay, so that means, what is he saying? That first he'll get W minus P. That will be 9,500. Correct, beta? That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And then he's saying he'll get the hydrostatic draft. Will that be the height draft of this particular case? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the trim in this case? Second part, what is the trim of the ship?
1 meter. Sir.
1 meter
1
per
meter
stern.
by
Stern.
stern. If I split this into TATF and apply TA to the hydrostatic draft, will I get the value of X? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Simple. See, when we start calculating, getting calculations, so people are more focused on calculator. You should first understand the concept. Calculations will automatically follow. Calculator has to do that here. Guys, once I get this high draft, this is the high draft at center of flotation, and I add to this TA, will I get this draft aft, which is equal to X? Yes or no? Am I right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now some people are asking, should we take TPC for this draft or that draft? Now we are coming to that point again. We want to split this trim of 1 meter into TATF, and LCF depends on draft. or to split trim into TA, you need LCF. So you should be taking LCF for W minus P now, because you know that if you use LCF for W minus P, that is more accurate in your working. So you see, earlier we were using LCF for W. Why? Because we were assuming it to be fixed. But now I want to split 1 meter trim at hydrostatic draft of corresponding to 9,500 tons into TATF. So what LCF should I use? I should use LCF appropriate to that condition, which I can find, because against 9,500 ton, I can find the LCF. Yes or no, beta? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, wherever we are sure that this value is more accurate than the other one, we'll go for the more accurate one. Wherever both are equally good or equally bad, we can use either. We'll prefer to continue using the initial ones because they are always available to you. So now, whatever I have said, I'll explain here. Get the height draft, guys. Please calculate the height draft. Chalo. Get the height draft first.
6.491.
Okay, 6.491.
6.49.
Very good. Get the height draft. Fantastic. Very good. Against this height draft, you'll need displacement for sure. You'll need MCTC for sure because you have to use the TC formula. You will need LCF for sure because you have to calculate P. Okay. And I don't know, you may need TPC. If you have any doubt, you can always calculate it. There's absolutely no problem. And there's no requirement here. So even if you miss out TPC, it's okay. I thought maybe it will be used. So if you have any doubt that one particular may be used, you can interpolate extra particular. That will keep lying. That's not no crime done. So please interpolate these: displacement, MCTC, LCF, and KM. KM is for part 3. KM is for part 3 of the question, beta. That has nothing to do with part 1 and 2. So let's first finish part 1 and 2. Question, Piyush, is on your phone. You can open it on your phone. Piyush, the question is on your phone. Are these the particulars? Please confirm. I'll wait for your confirmation before I proceed further. Once you have done the interpolations, please let me know. If you understand this question, half of your problems will be taken care of. Don't worry. Guys, got the values?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, correct. Sir.
Now, please calculate before I show you now. P when vessel just sits overall. It is something like
395.7.
critical instant. It is something like critical instant, but don't call it as critical instant. P when the vessel just sits overall. How much are you saying, beta?
395.7.
395.7 tons. Can you confirm, guys? Yes or no? Anybody who doesn't know, because you see why I'm not showing it is then those who are struggling, they will feel they knew it. If you don't know how to calculate, please shout out. Don't wait for me to show you. It's not going to help your cause. I can bet on it. If you just keep waiting for the screen to show the calculations, it's not helping you, beta. Then you might as well take some more time before taking another attempt at MMD. Make a genuine assessment of yourself. Everybody is good with
395.7.
Okay, anybody who's now struggling with 395.7, tell me. Or is somebody still calculating and wants me to wait?
Calculating.
Okay, let me know once you're done. Dushant, let me know once you're done. Okay.
395.72, sir.
Okay, very good, Gaurav. Good. Dushant, once you're done, let me know, beta. I'm waiting for you, okay?
I already done, sir.
Okay, then who's left? Who's left, guys? Can you identify so that I can check with you by name? Okay. Those who have got P, now we have to calculate the draft aft when P is so much. It is like finding draft aft at critical instant if it was dry docking. So what will we do? For W minus P, please calculate the following things. I'll show you the slides. Everything is worked there. Find W minus P. Calculate the LCF for that. Why? Because you calculate the height draft for that. Get the LCF for that because you want to split the trim. And get the KM for it for part 2 of the question, which wants the GM. Please interpolate draft, LCF, and KM, and why we have interpolated these, I've already spoken out. And I'll not be there to speak out in the exam, so you have to figure out yourself what is to be interpolated. And I've given you the reasons.
6.317.
Okay, very good. I'll show you in a while. Beta karte raho, chalo, shabash. Okay, up to P, everybody is done, or somebody still struggling with P, please speak out. Please speak out. No response? Okay, so we can continue. Up to P, everybody seems to be in order. Very good, shabash. P is 395.7. That's correct, guys. Calculations are on the screen now. Why I'm showing this is so that you also know how to present your answer. You can use the presentation in the slides for your answers also. Wherever explanations are given, they can be avoided. Rest everything can be used. Now, please calculate these and tell me if these are the values you're getting. And get the draft aft when the vessel just sits overall. Is that 6.822 meters? Yes or no? If you have not understood the process, please let me know. I have already explained 6.8. This 6.822 that you're getting is the value of x. If you don't understand it, you want me to go back and again show it to you, please let me know. 6.822 meters is the value of x, yes or no? That is the draft aft and depth aft when the vessel just sits overall on the seabed. 6.822 meters is the draft aft and the depth at the after end when the vessel just sits overall.
$6.822
Yes, correct. Have you understood, beta? Yes or no? पहले ही बताओ. आ तो गया, ठीक है. Have you understood?
हाँ जी
Very good.
समझ गया.
So now the answer A would be difference between 7.8 and x. So that is answer 1 to the question. Those who are taking time to interpolate can do it, but also please focus on gaining speed then. You'll need to pick up speed better. Okay, anybody who's still getting 6.822 and wants me to wait, please let me know. If somebody is still in the process of calculating. Nobody? And okay, one more thing. Anybody has any doubt on this slide, please let me know. If you have not understood, don't worry about copying it. But if you have not understood anything, let me know. It's more important to understand the concept, guys. And this brings us to end of part 1 of the question. Draft aft when vessel ran aground lightly. Depth aft when vessel ran aground lightly was equal to the draft aft then and was 7.800 meters. That was the first diagram that we discussed. Depth aft when just sitting overall on seabed is the draft aft at that point and is 6.822 meters we just calculated. It was x in the lower diagram that we discussed. Therefore, the fall in level required for the vessel to sit overall is 0.978 meters. That is answer 1. Is that clear, beta? Disruption, is it? I had gone out of the meeting, is it? Unknowingly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Guys, here is again, I'll show that. And if anybody has any doubts on this one, please let me know. 6.822 we have already discussed. Anybody who's still on it, let me know, guys. Please let me know. All good?
सर आपकी स्क्रीन नहीं आ रही सर.
Okay, sorry. Okay, thanks for pointing out. Okay, it's coming now. Shared now, beta.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So everybody is good up to this point, 6.822? Yes or no? Tell me. Final check. All good up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Then we are here to close the part one of the question. Depth aft when lightly aground is equal to the draft aft at that time, and that was 7.8 meters. It was the first diagram, the upper diagram, when light grounding. The depth aft and the draft aft when she just sits overall is 6.822 meters. It was X in the lower diagram, and which we have just calculated. And I am sure then you know that the fall in level required to sit overall is the difference between these two, that is 0.978 meters. Is the answer one understood and clear, beta? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We already have Km for W minus P here. Can you please find out the virtual GM then? You have the Km for W minus P. Can you find out part?
0.642.
Okay, 0.642 is the answer coming from Gurtej, I think.
0.64.
Yes.
Sir, 0.230.
We'll see. Okay,
Yes,
check.
sir. Yes, sir. Sorry. 0.642, sir.
6.42 is or something is correct, seems people are saying. Beta.
0.642.
Okay, 0.642. Okay. So that is answer B. So that means 20 marks up our sleeve. 0.642 is the answer to the second part. This is answer 2. Okay, you can have a look at those of you who have done it. Let me wait for others to do also. Get it. I am opening the question on my phone because I want to go through the third part. The drop in level required at which the ship would become unstable. Okay. Guys, part 2, everybody is done. Can I move to part 3? If anybody is still doing, let me know. I'll wait. Okay, no requirement. We continue. Part 3 of the question is, these are the particulars from 6.491 from the slide 1. Okay, these are the ones you already have. Part 3 of the question says, when vessel becomes unstable, at what GM for what GM do we calculate for vessel to become unstable, guys?
0.
0. Very good. Now the question becomes like, which question of dry docking out of 6, 7 that we came in the assignment, this becomes like which question?
Question number 2.
Question number 2. Because we want Km for W minus P when she becomes unstable, but we do not know the value of P then. So what do? We start with the Km for W. Okay. FSC will be always applicable in grounding, so there is no ambiguity about that. Okay, so don't worry whether she's sitting completely or not. Does not matter. I have said FSC in grounding will be always applicable, and reasons I have already given you. I'm sure this part of the calculation question does not require any explanation, guys. I'm sure this part does not require any explanation. Does everybody understand that if I use Km for W, so for vessel to become unstable, she has to lose this 0.924 meters of GM? Yes or no? Correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
Can you please find the value of P for this? Please find the value for P for vessel to lose 0.924.
$1325.8.
Okay, very good. Let us more answers come better. Guys, P, more answers.
5.8.
Okay, that seems to be correct. 1325 point something seems to be correct. 2 people have validated. How about others? Please let me know once you get it. Because if I show you, then you will not know whether you knew it or not. So please calculate P so that you are able to lose GM of 0.924. One three 1325.8 tons, correct, guys? Is that right? Class? Clear? Guys, I'll count 5. If anybody is still solving and wants me to wait, you have to give a shout.
Yes, sir. Still.
Okay, let me know once you're done. Let me know once you're done, beta. Please do it and let me know. Don't look at the screen, continue working. Once you are done, let me know.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Guys, this P has come for use by using which KM? KM for W. This P has come by using Km for W. What do I need to do? I need to do one step iteration. So get Km for W minus P and repeat the process and get me the revised P beta. Get me the revised P, please.
So 1529.4.
Seems to be correct. 152 something it is coming. So should be correct, beta. Let's wait for an update from the class.
One five two 6.7.
Okay. Okay, fine. Anybody else? It is 1529 or 26, just confirm. It's 1526.6 tons, beta. Okay. Is that good with everybody?
Calculating.
Okay, calculate. Let me know once you're calculated. Beta. You should speak out like this. Good. You can always stop me. I'm not in a hurry.
Sir, I'm getting, sir, 1525.3.
Okay, that's okay. That must be some calculation rounding of issues, nothing else. It can't be anything much different. Don't worry.
Sure.
I'm sure the steps are correct, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, I got the KM 8.467. That
Okay, fine.
so I got 1.067.
Yeah, so then it
That's
will make that
0.1
then it will make that
difference.
much of difference. It will make that much of
Yes, sir.
difference. No. Guys, what do we have to find? Now we have to find the value of x in our lower diagram for this P. That is the depth aft. Why aft? Because that is the first point of contact. So please, I'm re-emphasizing on the first point of contact. Don't go adrift suddenly. So please find out the draft aft when for P equal to 1526.6 tons. Please find out the draft aft, or when the vessel becomes unstable. How did we find out? We found out in part 1 when she just said. Now same thing we are finding for a different time. So you'll find W minus P height draft. You'll find LCF. And what will be the trim of the vessel after she sits overall? It will remain 1 meter only, guys. Am I right? Trim is not going to change after she sits overall, correct?
Yes, sir.
Am I right, class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then you can find out the depth aft when becoming first unstable. I have shown the calculations here and I have shown the answer here, but you calculate by yourself and then let me know if there is any concern.